welcome back to SketchUp for Engineers course. Today we're going to continue working on the anchor post. This is going to be chapter, I always forget what chapter I'm on, so let's go ahead and we're chapter 6. And this is going to be part 2. Perfect. Okay, I'm not 100% completely organized all the time, but whatever. Okay, so last time we made this and this component, and I sure hope I have, yes. So now we're going to cut this ring, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do this, and then once the ring is cut, I'm going to position it. Now normally what I should be doing is modeling in place. It's so much easier to model in place. For example, I should have modeled this hex post in place, but I wanted to model it outside of the component so you can see what it looks like and see how I'm doing things without any interference. But in all reality, the best practice is to model things in place. So yes, anyways, I'm not going to worry about it right now. So let's continue. Alright, so on the drawing we have this, we know it's been cut out, and we can tell it's some sort of ring shape because right here it says a radius of 3. Tells me what that is. So how do we cut a ring around it? Well, first off, if you think about it, it shows a positioning right here of 2 millimeters out for that radius of 3. So it looks like we're going to have a circle that's going to perform an actual tiny little circle like a coin. Think of a coin, and that coin is going to spin around, and it's really sharp, and it's just cutting away this. So how do we do that? We're actually going to make a continuous, like a coin in an infinite amount of circles, so basically a ring. Alright, so we have this as a component, so let's make this ring. And I'm going to show you how to do this 2 ways, the native way and also through solid tools, just so you can get a hang of it. So hit C for circle, go for the center point, doesn't matter how big it is, okay? Which is going to place it right there. It's just for our follow me path. Now we want to model on the side with an axis. That's what I like. So makes it easier. So we need to bring down something 20 millimeters, and then we need to pull something out 2 millimeters from that, and then draw a circle perpendicular to that at 3 millimeter radius. So T for tape measure, bring this one down 20. Okay, and then we're going to bring this one out along the red axis this direction by 2 millimeters. Okay, then to find the center of that, we're just going to drag this one to its center point. Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to pull one out of this in the red direction 2 millimeters. Okay, and then just for the heck of it, I'm going to erase these ones right here. Okay, hit C for, hit C for circle. Go to this intersection, and now we need to make it normal to this, so that's going to be the green. And bring it out along the red, and we want to make it exactly 3 millimeters for the radius. Okay, perfect. You can see if we turn on X-ray, you can see how it's actually digging in there, and if we turn X-ray off, how you can actually see that. So now we need to make our ring. So go ahead, click the outer edge of this circle, just the edge. Go ahead and hit follow me. Okay, and then select down here, it says select a face to extrude. I'm going to click this face. Oh, look at that, we have this beautiful ring. Go ahead and delete that circle, triple click, make component, call it a ring. Component with that name already exists, yes. Okay. Now we could run into issues by cutting it. It might not be a solid when we're done, so we might have to scale it by 1,000 and then divide by 1,000 again. So, but let's just see what happens. So first thing, let's try it with solid tools. I'm just going to do a basic subtract, and I always forget if it's big from small, small from big, so it'll take a minute. So I'm just going to click this and that, let it do its thing, and yeah, it looks like we would have to scale up It did the cut for most of it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, okay. Perfect opportunity just to try something. Solid inspector. Let's just see if this can fix it. Stray edges. Okay, then surface borders. Yeah, it's not going to be able to close that. Let's double click it inside. Can we close it? We can. So, but that's a lot of work to do. Alright, Control Y. Okay, so let's try this by scaling it. So, select them both. Grab your scale to, and you want to go around the corner, uniform scale. And first of all, let's go down to our one thing. I've never shown you this. This is called the instructor. If you ever get stuck on a tool, go down to this thing called the instructor. I'll tell you how to use the tool. Okay, modifier keys. Shift, scale uniformly. Control equals scale about the centers. The geometry center. Alright, let's just try what Control does. Okay, what about Shift? Huh. Holding Shift really messes things up. But if you let go of Shift, it toggles it uniformly, but Control is about the center. I don't want to do it about the center. So, whoops. Let's go ahead and just do it uniform. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead. We moved it up a bit. Let's see if 100 times works. It means it's going to be 100 times less opportunity for small faces. Control Shift E just to see how we did. Alright, let's give it a shot. So, now I'm doing this without making a duplicate because I want to be able to use the tools built into SketchUp. Yes, Nroth works great, but I can always scale back down. So subtract little from big. And let's go all the way back to the top. Let's see. Solid group. Okay, so just 100 times it worked. So, grab it, click this, and then type in 0.01. Brings it back down. Notice how it's way out there now. So, I don't know why it does that sometimes. But just bring it back. Control Shift E, zoom extents. Okay, perfect. So, we have that hex part. Now let's try it a different way. Control Z, Control Z, Control Shift E, Control Z. Whoops, Control Y. Okay, so we have our two things here. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explode this. Okay. Then I'm going to do Control C to cut. Then I'm going to double click inside here and I'm going to go Edit, Paste in Place, highlight things like that, and I'm going to hit Intersect Faces with Context. Alright, notice this one right here, it's not black. So, Control Z, Edit, Paste in Place. Okay. While holding Shift, triple click everything, and go to Intersect Faces with, let's just do Selection. Okay, so now it's all highlighted in black right here. I'm going to hit X-ray view. You'll notice that the ring has actually been cut. The inside has been intersected with it. So what I'm going to do is actually delete that surface. Okay, and you'll see these patterns. So I'm going to click here, hold Shift, click here, hold Shift, click there. I don't know, wow, I really don't know why my camera is doing that. Hold Shift, click there, click there, click each edge, and then hit delete. I think that did everything. Perfect. Highlight that surface, notice it's blue, we need it to be white, so reverse it, and we're good. Says it's a solid component, that's exactly what we wanted. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and scale it back down. So 2 different ways for you to do what you want. 0.01, that's 100th. Okay, perfect. Bring you back home. Okay, so Solid Tools natively and also using the actual program Solid Tools. Alright, so the next thing to do is position it into the center and then rotate it. I forget how many degrees you'll have to look, so let's bring this to the center. Right there. To the center of this part. Right there. Can I assume it's the center right there? Or am I missing... Does it give me placement at all? Not really. So I'm going to assume that it's in the center, that this line right here is center along there. And then we need to rotate it 55 degrees off of there. Okay, bet. Okay. So just to make things easier, I'm going to turn on X-ray. I'm going to hit the move tool. I'm going to find the center. Okay. And I'm going to click it right on the intersection. Alright. Now that's not exactly where we wanted it, but that's how I wanted it. So I'm going to take this, because now I have the intersection, and I'm going to not do that. Along red until there. Okay. Now turn on X-ray because we're going to need to rotate right at the center. Right. Oh goodness, it's a little right there. And we want to do it along the green. Click once and then click again. Woo. So we want it to be 55. No, I lied. Sorry. 55 off that end, which means 35. Excuse me. Wow, choking. 35 for up here. Okay. Hover here. Go up until you get to there. Make sure we're on the green. Now, we don't want to rotate. Yeah, we want to rotate along that line, so just bring it out a little bit. And we want to go down 35. Okay. Now turn off X-ray again and hit M for move. We want to move this point. Click this. We want this midpoint right here to hit the up arrow to force it down till it's constrained on this line. Make sure it didn't go down in there. We didn't. Okay. Now, move it back. Perfect. Okay. We're almost done. The only thing left to do is something called a union. So, click this one with that one. Now it's one big group. And it says it's solid. So if we look inside, look at that. Beautimus. Okay. So far so good. The last but not least, we need to do this part. This video will be next. It's not that bad. It's basically using the follow me tool. We're going to make a line that follows this exact same shape. Make a circle here and then do the follow me tool and then union it at the end so that it will look like this. Nice and pretty. Okay, with that I'm going to end here, so thank you for watching, and I'm glad we got this far, and I'm glad you guys have gotten this far. so far.